do the intro to the show because I didn't do an intro.
Okay.
If you guys are up for that. Welcome to the Full Charge Power Hour. We got Craig Coleman, as usual.
Yes.
And we got special guest, Darren Carter, the party starter.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Nice.
We're taping this intro late because we just started talking. And I just want to give this disclaimer. I was talking. I don't know how you guys were talking. I was talking as if we weren't taping. So I think I might have been more of a dick than I am on air. So just keep that in mind. I'm probably going to do a lot of editing, but we're really trashing morning radio.
Oh yeah, that's how we feel though.
Yeah, that is how we actually feel.
Yeah.
This episode is probably going to be about 35 minutes long.
Yeah, morning radio is dog shit.
Okay, we'll start right back all over again.
Yeah, you know what? Let me say one more thing about morning radio.
Please, Darren.
Do you remember
don't hurt him.
I know. Remember when they'd say write down five setups, and then they're going to get to them, and then they never get to them, or they would do bullshit like that. I mean, the last time I did radio, I think this is the last time I did radio. Something, I flew to Canada.
Yeah.
So you have you do a show. You go home. There's like literally.
So you fly to Canada to do a show that night.
Yeah.
You're exhausted, and then they go. It's like 11:30 at night, and they go, "Hey, we'll pick you up at 5," and you're like, "Awesome,
right?
That sounds perfect."
But you can't get to sleep, and then you're no sleep. And I remember I'm gonna get a little serious right now, but not too much. But I remember this is 5 days after Brody Stevens killed himself.
Okay.
And so we're doing a little small talk before because those guys knew about it.
Sure.
You know, and they go, "So what's going on, man?" I go, "Well, it's so weird. I just saw Brody on Monday, and it was weird. He did my podcast, and I'm just sitting in his apartment. We're talking for, an hour before we recorded. And we did, and I'm telling him it was just weird. And here's this guy that and so I think it was my fault. I should have just not mentioned it or brought it up. I should have just kept it moving.
I doubt it was your fault.
But it was weird because then he goes, because I think the guy was like, okay, well, we're going to go on in 5, 4. And he's like, Darren Carter. And then I had to be fun. It was just a weird freaking appearance.
Oh, sure.
I thought it was going to be like the radio voice. So we're here with Darren Carter. Your friend just died. How does that go for you?
It kind of was like that. And then I was trying to and then I remember I used the restroom and I came back and I could tell the energy was weird, man. And I came back and I thought, okay, let me step it up. And then I came back and I was funny.
You were the party starter.
Yeah, finally for this. And then on the way back to the hotel, the guy was like, yeah, they were only going to have you on after one segment. So luckily you took a break and came back and brought it because those guys were giving each other the signal like, let's cut them. And I was like, dude, this is like.
You're like, you could have took me home. I would have been
exactly.
fine with that.
Yeah.
Like, is anybody really going to hear this?
Yeah.
This morning, it's just.
Some farmer.
Yeah, and then they do stupid stuff in radio. They're like, sign our dildo. I had to sign some.
Are you fucking
sign? Our
dildo.
Yeah, it was something
our collective.
Yeah. It was a fist. It was a fist.
The house.
You had to sign the fist, and all the comedians had signed it. Yeah, exactly, dude.
We're like 14-year-old virgins here.
They were like, hey, this is like a morning, but you don't got to do your act. This isn't just.
Right.
And so, then you would do then they would. It was a weird balance because they want you to be funny, but then they don't, and then.
But they're judging the funny.
They're judging the funny.
So I had one guy cut to commercial and we go, all right, what else you got?
Right.
Like he was just like,
Like, I don't get your humor. You're well, you guys suck to me.
Well, you're walking into their ego,
Yeah,
their house,
yes.
and they
Right.
think they're so. I walked into this one place in Madison, Wisconsin. It was like all these bikers. It looked like the final season of Breaking Bad. Oh my God. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird. I did that thing and nothing, came of it. Nobody came to the show. And then the second one I did, it was better. It was a R&B station. They were cool because they were like laughing. There was a vibe.
Yeah.
And then but nobody came from that show either. And then I did a podcast, and it was kind of like this. Like you walk into it was a refurbished house that was made into a studio. And I think it was called the Tom and Dan Show or something.
Yeah, that's pretty original.
Or something like that.
You've heard of Bob and Tom? Yeah. This is Jim and Jeff.
Yeah. They were like, and they were pumping up. Who are they pumping up? That guy from Idaho. He does podcasts.
Nobody's from Idaho.
No, he's that guy. He's like a big in the podcast.
Dan Cummings.
Dan, yes. Yeah. So they were like, and you could do the cruise with Dan. And I remember after the show, they were like, those guys were, anyways, people came to the show that night from that podcast. And so I was like, man, podcasting's where it's at. Radio's like, and those guys told me, they said, they go, yeah, radio used to be a thing where they could go to these sponsors and be like, we've got, millions of, and then you do a live show. We're here at the McDonald's parking lot, and like nobody shows up. And he goes, but with podcasting, they have to seek it out, download it. He said that all their podcast events, he said their first one was, I'm just going by what he said, but he said that it was a bar and 300 people showed up. They ran out of a certain beer or whatever. Because it was real. Because it wasn't like radio, like fluffed up numbers and shit.
Yeah.
But
anybody that's still listening to regular radio, you really don't want it at your show.
I know. I think about that. Like,
because everybody knows. I'm 50 and I understand how to work this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys,
I know how to work my phone. I know how to download a podcast.
Right.
How many?
I'm not listening to fucking. I get Sirius radio. And even that's kind of annoying because it doesn't play exactly what I want.
Let me ask you a question, because I used to be in radio, like before any of this stuff. Like I was.
Hold on a second. Aaron, can we start taping soon?
Oh, yeah, we're rolling.
Oh, we're rolling.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. we're on the air? I get all nervous now. Scrap all that stuff I said earlier.
You were in radio.
I was in radio, so I grew up in Fresno. And wherever you grow up, that's where you're going to start anything. You're most likely, right? Your comedy, whatever. So I was in radio, and it was like I was like the board operator guy, like kind of like what Aaron's doing. I was doing that,
yeah.
and then you do a little shift here and there overnight. I remember like thinking but first we did research where we'd call out, and so I want to ask you guys like I started. That was the first department. How many hours a week do you listen to AM radio?
To this
right now?
Currently,
Yeah.
I spend 0 hours listening to AM radio right now.
How about FM radio?
FM radio, I spend maybe an hour.
Maybe
on
all,
Sunday.
all totaled.
On
wow.
Sunday,
Yeah.
My wife will sometimes put on, there's NPR, and then there's the station
Oh yeah.
Those
88.9 or
yeah,
something
so
wow.
there's 89.9 and 88.9. We listen to one of those for an hour.
Like public radio kind of, really.
Yeah.
I mean, and then how about you, Craig?
I used
AM or FM?
So I'll AM none anymore. I only used to listen to Art Bell.
Oh yeah.
And then
I'm Art Bell, west of the Mississippi, or whatever, west of the Rockies.
First time caller line.
Oh yeah.
I now I'll listen to sometimes classical radio, NPR, and there's another station in that same zone.
Yeah.
The college radio.
Oh yeah.
But only when I'm in LA. In LA, it's college radio, and it's like these punk rock. It's great.
Right.
But when you head toward Orange County, it turns into a Christian radio station. Because all of a sudden you're like, well, now it sucks. What's going on? And then I'm like, I fucking crossed over into the orange curtain. So, yeah.
It's funny because I have serious. So I was thinking with myself, AM radio, like 0. FM radio, when my wife would be getting my son ready for school, sometimes they used to put on, this is a while back too, K-Earth 101, because it would play like this upbeat kind of
K-Earth's good now.
Right? And they would have like the, like this, Billy Idol.
It was like Sugar Ray.
Yeah.
And it was good. I always have this image like that song would be like, I'm dancing with myself. Right. And they would do this jokey thing where my wife would dance and then he'd come dance with her. She's like, no, I'm supposed to be dancing with myself. And that whole thing.
Yeah,
and it was fun. Like, getting ready for school. You got Dancing with Myself. A lot of that stuff, 80s, Our House.
Do they still have the same DJs that are like really
Probably,
upbeat?
yeah.
I mean the same style where it's like,
yeah.
K-Earth.
So we were, when you used to come across K-Earth, I would make fun of it.
Right.
And then then recently, I want to say maybe a year ago, it was on, and I was like, wow, this radio station's pretty cracking. I go, this is pretty good. And my wife goes, I'm going to say something that's going to hurt.
Right. But you need to hear it.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. She goes, this is K-Earth 101. And I go, fine.
Our songs are now oldies.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Like my soul left my body.
I know.
Just like when, you listen. I liked classic rock. I liked classic rock.
For sure.
From about the time I was 15, which is around like 1990.
Yeah.
I love classic rock.
Of course.
And then you listen to it, I don't know, starting even 10 years ago, and they're playing Nirvana and Guns N' Roses and Metallica, and you go, oh, shit.
We were at a store that all young people worked, American Apparel.
Yeah.
And we're in the store, and I go, well, they're playing fucking cool music.
Yeah.
Karen again.
Yeah.
Here comes another ball kick, old man. She goes, I go, wow, these young people are listening to some cool music. She goes, yeah, honey, that's it's oldies now. And I was just like, fuck.
You've got the classic situation where like you think the Black Keys are new.
Right.
Oh, that happens to me.
Yeah, I mean,
that happens to me
But
too.
they're like 15 years old.
Wow. Yeah. Dude, yeah, you're right.
Exactly.
Like I think the White Stripes are new. They're 20.
Yeah.
So old,
5
dude. Yeah.
years old? 20.
Yeah.
5 years
Boom,
old?
boom, boom, boom,
They've been
boom.
around for half my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know the Oak Ridge Boys covered that song?
I believe it.
Yeah.
What?
I'm going to Wichita.
Yeah.
It's really good.
With harmonies, though,
Yeah, they
right?
do with harmonies
Right.
and yeah.
Are you familiar? Are you familiar with the Oak Ridge Boys?
I am.
Oh, you are?
I didn't
Oh, yeah.
know that they covered a modern song, which
So-
isn't even
Yeah,
modern.
exactly. I know.
So help me out with
Yeah.
remembering, because I think I had a greatest hits in the 80s.
Yeah,
or my
yeah.
friend did. Were they the Barbara Ann people?
Oh yeah, Barbara
And
Ann.
yeah.
Ba 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 ba.
Barbara. And
But that's the Beach Boys.
That was the
Papa's-
Beach Boys.
Yeah.
Papa sang bass, Mama sang tenor.
That was a different group, I think. No, that was the Statler Brothers, I
The
think.
Statler Brothers.
I love the Statler Brothers. Yeah, but yeah, that's. I remember telling a friend, I love the Statler Brothers. Oh, you got to get into the Oak Ridge Boys. It's like
If
one
you
of the.
like the Statler Brothers,
You
by
need-
God, you're gonna love the Oak
Yeah.
Ridge
You need to
Boys.
take your ass to the store and
Yeah.
buy yourself some Oak Ridge Boys.
Oak Ridge Boys. Yeah, they have the Bobby. Is it Bobby Sue? Bobby
God.
Sue. Oh yeah, it's Bobby Sue.
Yeah.
It's a Bobby Sue because they had that deep voice. That's what.
Bobby Sue.
I want to marry you.
I'll
Yeah.
come across a loop of that, like when I'll listen to, like, I'll search
Yeah.
up country music on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
then that'll pop in, shit
Right.
like that. And
Yeah.
it's just like 8 fucking dudes in these
Yeah.
weird tan
Yeah,
suits.
yeah.
Right? And they're all
But it's
going,
good though. It's good. Remember because
It's hokey.
One of the
It's hokey.
It's okay, but the harmonies.
But
are
I like
good.
it.
The, har-
Yeah.
I do admit I like some
the
of it.
harmonies check out.
Yeah, like-
I
Right.
mean,
They had
you
Elvira.
know when a harmony doesn't work,
sure.
and they pull it off.
Remember Elvira was their big hit.
Oh, that's it.
That's what I'm
dude.
looking for.
Elvira.
Mow, giddy up. My
Elvira.
heart's on fire.
Yeah.
For Elvira.
So whenever-
We
Yeah.
just showed how difficult it is to do that song. We just
I know.
proved. We just made sure.
Why you have to be an actual singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever I play anything like that, my daughter just goes like, "Oh,
Oh god,
shit."
because it's corny, right? Like,
Very, yeah,
papa.
she's-
Yeah,
Or she'll just be like, can we listen to anything else?
yeah.
Like anything
Remember,
else?
I was just telling Darren we used to be in a band, and there was
Yeah.
there was a time where it was like we knew how to play our instruments.
right.
All right, we knew
Yeah.
that much.
Yes.
we were that good.
Absolutely.
But we worked with this dude that was a songwriter,
Right.
could play guitar,
Yes.
could sing, and he was like, "Yeah, Matt, you're gonna sing harmony." And I'd be like, "Awesome, man," because I'm just playing the bass. Bass isn't too hard.
Yeah.
You play it the way I play
Yeah.
it. I'm not Les Claypool or Flea or anything like that. I'd probably be kicked out of the band if I was. Nobody wants, It's amazing, but I don't
Yeah.
think Josh would want that.
Yeah, you can't outdo me.
Yeah, right. So we did about one day of me trying to do harmonies,
Yeah.
and he was just like, "Yeah, we're not going to do that
That's
anymore."
hilarious, dude.
Which we should have tried it. I would have loved to have
It would've
done
been
it.
great.
Yeah.
You know what
yeah.
I misunderstood what harmony was,
Yeah.
because I thought harmony was like, can you sing? Can you hold a note? And I'll just try to match you. I'll
Oh,
Okay.
no, I can't.
Let's me and you do
Oh,
it.
okay.
all
Because
right?
here's what I'll tell you what I thought harmony was. Like, just do something.
Okay, I'll do one.
I
It's
thought
not
this was
going to be
harmony.
good, but
Yeah,
I'm
I'll put
going to
these
give you a
headphones on.
note.
I can't sing either, but
It's definitely going to be sharp or flat, most
okay,
likely
see, I
flat.
don't even know what that is. Like,
Yeah, put those headphones on. You might want to try this.
Oh yeah. Oh,
you know,
that's
you might
cool.
want to hear yourself.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Well, you got a good baritone though.
Well, I can fake it for that little.
That's not harmony.
I thought that was harmony. And you're right. That's not harmony, right?
That's
'Cause
two
you're
people.
supposed to-
That's backup. That's
I
like
thought
yeah.
that, because my whole life I thought
that's
it was
double track.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I thought I was doing. And my son, exactly what you said. He goes, "No, harmony is like."
No, you do
right?
you do your note. I'll try to give
Okay.
you harmony.
Okay.
Let me get as low as I can.
Oh yeah, should I or not?
Go. No, I don't know if you got to be in
Yeah.
the same octave.
So I'm doing.
In
like-
other words, it's
yeah.
got to be the same note but a different pitch.
Yes, like
Right.
F
The
sharp,
terms
and
I
then-
know. The
yeah.
ability I don't have.
Right.
So in our band,
Yeah.
luckily we were a punk rock
You're talking
band.
about your other band, your Alaska
back
band.
in my Alaska band.
The best thing you can do for yourself would be a punk rock band, because then you don't
Yes.
have to be good.
Doesn't have to be good.
You just have to be. The drummer has to be good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason why
Yeah.
I was in that band, because
Yeah.
I was just a little bit better than some of the other drummers.
You have to
in
be able to
town.
keep time. You have to
Yeah.
have that going for you.
Yeah, and if any of you guys are listening, I wasn't better than you. I was,
Right.
I was louder.
That was Matt talking. That was Matt
but-
talking.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
our singer guitarist,
Yeah.
sometimes he would just like not want to sing a song, and he'd
Really?
be like, "Hey, Craig, this one's yours," and I'd be like, "I'm
Ringo.
playing the drums. I don't know if I can play and sing at the same time."
Yeah.
And then I did.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
And you're using your arms and your legs.
Yeah, it was all in sync.
Hello,
I couldn't
wow.
hold a tune.
Yeah.
And this lyrics were stupid as shit. And then he made me even
Welcome
write lyrics
to the
for a
hotel,
song.
Craig
oh my
Coleman.
God, dude. It was, he had me write lyrics for a song. And every time I listen to it to this day, I love the song.
Yeah.
It's just when I start singing, I'm like, God damn it, can we cut this out?
That's cool, man. I didn't know you sang on
I wonder
that.
if somebody could cover it, make it
I
even
did.
better.
Well,
Cover it.
cover it. No, they'd have to rewrite the lyrics. The lyrics are dumb.
Oh.
Dumb. And I don't care who sang it. You'd still be like, these are the dumbest fucking
Dude, I just thought of an
lyrics
idea for a
I've ever
show.
heard.
Okay, good.
Okay, so
We're
you
currently on a show, just so you know.
Hey, we should do a podcast. We're doing one.
The three of us should do a podcast
We should do a
about.
funny podcast.
We should do a podcast about music,
Here's an idea.
since we know so much.
Yeah.
Since we became experts
Here,
yesterday.
let me get out the viola here. We'll just-
People audition for us. We're like, are you like the Oak Ridge Boys or the Statler Brothers? What are you?
We're more like the Bee Gees.
Yeah, the Bee Gees. No, but what if like there was a show like where like a real band covered like people's like bullshit music.
So that was everything in the 70s.
Oh.
Johnny Cash had a show like that.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah.
Lawrence Welk.
Oh,
So, in other words, the three of us take a song to Johnny Cash.
Right.
And Johnny goes,
Hey,
well,
Johnny.
we'll give that a shot. And it's
Johnny?
like, bing, dicka ding, dicka ding, dicka ding, dicka ding, dicka ding.
Play,
well, I
Ner-
lived in Alaska.
play Nervous by Black Flag, but your style.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd love to hear that.
I would love to hear that.
You know what I mean? Like you hear you hear the unknown band, and then like, okay, this is what.
So Johnny
And
would
then-
have a guest on, and they would play their song.
Oh, wow.
But it would be Johnny Cash style.
oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
those are great. If you ever look those
Oh, I gotta
up,
look those up on YouTube.
Those are fantastic.
You know the way Sugar Ray got a lot of fame and momentum.
Yeah.
Remember that band Sugar Ray?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's the second time I'm mentioning
I just
it.
wanna fly.
For some
Right?
reason,
Yeah.
I never mention.
like I
I never
never
think
talk
about
about
Sugar
Sugar
Ray.
Ray.
I'm not a huge fan of Sugar Ray. No disrespect. I just
Yeah.
don't listen to them.
Sure.
They're obviously good at what they do. But Howard Stern had a song when he was a kid, and there was a tape of it called "Psychedelic B."
That he
You know, and
wrote?
he's like 14, and him and his buddies
Oh, okay.
jammed on it, and there's a tape of it. And he was like, "We're looking for somebody to cover this."
Nah.
And Sugar Ray, before they were anybody,
Wow.
covered it.
sent it in, and all of a sudden they had people at their shows.
Wow.
This is before they wrote. This is back when they were more of a rock band.
Right.
And then they got that heat, and they were like, "Hey, you guys want to make some fucking hits on the
That'll
radio?"
never happen again.
Yeah.
In this day and age, there's so many good bands out there.
And there's so many radio shows. I mean, if we're
Yeah.
everything counts for a radio show.
right.
The fact that people even still listen to Howard Stern, I'm one of them. But it's crazy. There's just so many specialty shows.
Sure.
There's like a podcast for like people named Matt who used to skateboard.
There's gonna be.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, oh man, I'm
You're
in
not
on that.
wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong. You got to
what if-
filter through that shit.
I mean, I just thought of this when you said music. What if we did that with old comedy? Like you had your old comedy notebook or jokes, but then you had a real professional comedian, like
A real professional.
you know what I mean? Like,
That made
Where are we gonna
millions of
find one of
dollars.
those?
like you
Hey, will you come down and do it? No.
like
No, I won't. I've made a lot of
Dave
money.
Chappelle.
So no.
Here's some material I wrote in '99 and 2000.
Oh, turn this into a joke?
yeah. Like, can you make
Turn
this
this
funny?
joke
Like,
into a joke.
yeah, like I'll bring you one of my old joke books from like back in the day.
This joke ate.
See if you could make it funny from 20 years ago.
This joke ate it 16 times at Sonoma Blue in the Valley.
Oh, I'd love to see you do really well with it.
Yeah,
That's funny.
it would crush you
Yeah.
to see how well Dave Chappelle could
Oh,
do
I know. Yeah.
with your joke that you
Turns
can never make
to
work for
spin
20
it.
years.
Yeah.
Gosh, but some of it, you're right. It would. You're right. They would. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But when he started hitting the mic on his leg, you'd be like,
yeah.
all right, that joke, it's good writing. It's cracking him up.
Yeah.
It's good writing. I'll take the win.
That's funny, man. I do go down those roads though. Especially lately, I've been into like a lot of old school country, and I like that. Like you said, a little bit of that harmonizing stuff. Those old TV shows. I like Merle Haggard. Lately,
Yeah.
I've been into Hank Jr. You ever get into Hank Williams Jr. at all? And,
of course.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okie
'Cause
from
it's-
Muskogee?
No, that was Merle Haggard. Yeah.
Oh, that's Merle
Yeah.
Haggard. You're talking Hank?
Hank Jr. Are you ready for some football?
Oh, sure.
You probably know that.
Hank Williams Jr. or Hank Williams III?
Oh, I like all three of them. I like Hank Williams, because he had that old school
Twang.
Yeah, that twang, and then and then Hank the
Died
third.
in the back of his car.
Yeah.
Like Bon Scott.
Wow. AC/DC.
Alcohol.
That's a cool way to go.
I mean,
To get in a car accident when you're not moving.
Oh God, I know. yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
when
He's
you
drunk.
break it down.
Drunk parking.
Did you ever go down the rabbit hole of country music, Matt?
Never.
Never.
I had a Waylon Jennings record
He's great.
when I was a
yeah.
kid because
Yeah.
I loved the Dukes of Hazzard,
Yeah.
which is quite the statement in
Yeah.
this day and age
Yeah.
with the Confederate
Right,
flag on
right.
top of the car.
Sure.
And then they erased
But
it.
whatever,
Yeah,
it was more innocent times for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
And I
Right.
love that show.
Right,
And
right.
every time I see a van with a ladder on the back of it, I go,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's a bad guy from Hazard County."
Just the good old boys.
Every
Yeah.
criminal in Hazard County
Shit.
Yeah.
would buy a car that was slow. Like van is not a good getaway car.
Yeah.
And it would
No,
always
it's
have
not.
a ladder on the back for the Duke boys
know.
to fucking Teen
Climb
Wolf
up
surf on the hood of the car and climb on it. It's like, dude,
Dude, I tried.
what is the upside? You guys aren't police. In fact, the police are trying to arrest you, and you're like
Oh,
solving all these
shit.
crimes. Like
In a
just
small
stick.
town.
You got a farm to tend.
Yeah.
Like who is growing
Yeah.
the plants? Who is slaughtering the chickens?
It's pretty crazy the amount of crime that happened in their tiny little county.
Unbelievable. And the fact that
Daisy Duke was hot.
the
though.
cops tried to arrest the guys that were solving all the crimes.
Right. They were the arch nemesis.
Yeah.
Now, were they moonshine runners?
I think
Was
that
that
was
their deal?
I think that was implied, but I don't know that we ever saw
that's
that.
funny. I don't know that either.
Right.
And
They're so
how terrible would it be to be cousins with Daisy Duke? Like you just
I
Yeah.
mean,
That's your cousin.
I guess it's not such a faux pas in Hazard
Right.
County though.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
That's what-
I mean, as long as you don't
It's
have
the norm.
babies.
But
Yeah,
were there but there were love interests on that show.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
I should
just
watch
don't
that show
remember
again.
it.
I really haven't seen it since I was.
It's terrible.
since-
I'll be
It's
honest.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually not as
Phenom-
good as you think it is.
The character of Boss Hogg
Yeah.
And now he's
is
yeah.
beyond incredible.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
Cletus.
Cletus and Roscoe.
Yeah.
The cops are the best part.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
They
Because
are.
Boss Hogg would just so lean in to being a big guy. Like he'd always be smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
And eating
and
like a chicken.
They bring him like a plate of glazed donuts. Hey boss, we're going to fucking Dunkin' Donuts. What kind do you want? I want all glazed. I want all because he never spoke. He always shouted.
That's funny.
Now, was he the mayor?
He was the he was a politician,
Okay.
and then he had the cops in his pocket.
Right.
So he would just jail the Duke boys
Yeah.
on souped up crimes.
Remember how they would? Remember they would like do that.
Hey,
thing?
arrested
Yeah,
Duke
yeah.
boys for jaywalking
Oh
today.
my
if you will.
God, dude, that's just.
Remember
too
they do that
funny.
thing when they'd run and they'd slide across the hood.
Love it.
And so I tried that.
And your
Oh.
dad kicks your ass.
Yeah, it was actually worse than that. It was more recent times. It was
What?
not that recent, but it was there
My
was a
son
there was a
got
song.
upset.
How
there-
old?
yeah.
How old were you?
I was in my 30s, and there was a song.
Black Keys were popular.
Yeah. Who are the Black Keys? I haven't heard of this group yet. Yeah, I'll know about them in 2 years.
I gotta
from now.
run to the car, slide over the hood to get inside.
Well, I remember there was a song that referenced it, and,
Yeah.
and then the song they go hood sliding like Bo Duke. Well, and the song's called "What Was I Thinking?" And so my wife pulled up at the LAX airport.
Your wife was there?
Yeah, she
Oh
drove
my
the car.
God.
That's what I'm
Oh,
saying. It was
you're
more
at
recent
LAX?
time. LAX.
Oh, right.
Oh
in
my
front of
God.
all kinds of
Yeah,
people.
I thought it would be cute.
People from all over the world.
Right. And yeah,
Look
exactly.
at this guy.
And I thought, hey, this will be cute. I'll drop my luggage, slide across the hood,
Oh no.
give her a kiss. Hey,
Fuck yeah,
dude, you
She's
want to
like, who did I marry?
you don't want to know what really happens when you do
Yeah,
that?
you stop dead.
you-
Yes, you do. You don't slide.
Did
They-
you dent the
I
hood
dented.
and
I
scratch
dented the
it?
hood, just like you guys were there.
They waxed the shit out of
yeah,
those
dude.
hoods.
I just jumped and
Yeah.
it went boom. It's like I did a cannonball.
And
or
they
a
take
Honda.
their belts off. They take the wallet out of their
For
pants.
sure.
They
For
take the
sure.
keys
Yeah, it
out
was
of
like
their
conk,
pants.
and it was like, I mean, we got home and everything, but it was like, dude, it wasn't as cool as they,
Having been on set, now I know that they probably had a piece of plywood under the hood, so it's not going to clunk in.
I love that the money you saved on her picking you up went straight to the hood. Went straight to fixing the car.
What did she do? Was she just sitting there like, what the fuck?
Probably. I remember thinking it was funny and also what? That didn't work,
I'm amazed that you have that kind of sense of humor after a flight.
Oh yeah.
I want to go home.
Yeah,
and
that's
just.
true.
I'm defeated.
Maybe it was a flight
after
from
a
Phoenix
flight.
or something.
Yeah,
like an
maybe.
hour flight or something.
Too good. I seen somebody do that at Union Station. We were, we were doing it was a live opera, right?
Yeah.
But you had to rent if you were doing the show, you wore these headphones so you could hear the orchestra. Everybody else just sees people singing opera, but they can't hear the orchestra.
Oh.
So you kind of don't even know what's going on.
Does it sound pretty without the orchestra?
No.
Oh, really?
It's just it almost looks like a crazy person's just singing in Union Station, to be honest with you. But yeah, they could sing good.
Yeah.
And people could dance.
Right.
So the homeless people watched us do this for 2 months.
Yeah.
So they knew what was going on, right? They're the only people that are completely aware. This is a live performance. These guys are going to dance. This guy comes out and sings. Like, they knew all the cues. They knew what was happening.
Yeah.
This just randomly happens at Union Station?
No, so this was an event.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, this was an event,
Yeah.
and people paid, and an audience would follow throughout the station this thing happening.
Cool.
Right?
Yeah.
But the homeless people, they were just there watching us rehearse this thing for 2 months.
Okay.
So they knew who all the
They knew
people
their
were.
parts.
They knew their parts, yeah.
I'm the stand-in for
and the
Stinky.
funny thing is, they didn't really join in during any of the rehearsals. But fucking, I'll tell you what, come live time, they were fucking in on the game, man.
This is my moment.
This is it. Time to shine. So there was a time when this guy's walking down the center towards the information booth. It's all linear, like just straight. And the seats are all here. And these dancers come, and they come around the information booth. They're all doing their dance routine. This fucking homeless chick.
Oh, no.
So homeboy stops singing, steps out. The dancers are still dancing. This homeless chick comes running when everybody parts, and it just opens perfectly. Comes running down the fucking waiting room area, and I'm all, oh, shit. Uh-oh. I already know what's going to happen.
Because you're not allowed to restrain anybody.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Of course.
And I stay in my lane.
You wouldn't want that
And
responsibility.
I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Tackle that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So, dude, she comes barreling down, jumps into the air to,
Oh, shit.
belly slide.
Ooh.
And just fucking, no movement whatsoever.
Wow.
And just 100% effort. Full steam ahead, and just jump. And she thinks she's gonna
Epic
right
fail.
and just epic fail, dude. Just hits the ground and just stops right there.
Wow.
And then, but doesn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
Starts acting like she's swimming.
Oh, like this is my idea.
Like she's doing the backstroke and shit.
Oh, wow.
And then I just look at the security guard and I go, okay, now we can. Yeah, we need to take her out of here.
I love how she had 2 months of rehearsal.
She did.
Never bothered to see if that works.
Yeah, exactly. Even in the off time, could have just done a little running slide just to see. Oh, it's too great, too great.
So yeah, I had the Waylon Jennings record, and I knew like the third verse of Just a Good Old Boys, which is a great song.
It's a great song, right?
Yeah,
Like there's a line of the song where he's like,
ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
They even showed a guitar in the beginning of the.
But he even says it in the song. They only show my hands, but not my face on TV.
That's actually him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I would think that wasn't actually his hands.
Me too.
To be honest.
Yeah, he says like in the song according, that's what he says.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
If they would have showed his face, they would have to pay him every single time.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they're already paying him for the song.
Right.
Yeah.
They would have had to also pay him like an actor's fee.
Roscoe P. Coltrane.
Dude.
I like how they had an Enos.
Yeah.
Oh no, they had a Cletus.
Cletus?
And then they replaced him with Enos. And then they brought back Cletus.
Right.
My favorite. I love.
You have a good memory.
I'm obsessed with television because I used to just watch it all the time.
Sure.
And I'm really obsessed with sequels and actor replacements. And I think one of the craziest coup d'etats of all time was when Tom Wopat and John Snyder, Bo and Luke Duke,
Right.
Yeah.
were like, yeah, you're not paying us enough.
They left.
We're leaving. And then they got, okay, well, we're all cousins, so let's get Coy and Vance.
Oh, wow.
Right.
And they got these other actors,
It was terrible.
Wow.
and it just didn't click.
At all.
It just
Really?
didn't click, you know, because you wanted Bo and Luke.
Yeah. Bo and Luke.
Yeah.
And they just figured, we'll get another fucking brown-haired guy and a
And
blonde-haired guy.
they're all
Done.
cousins, and they even had an episode. They even had the handoff episode. Where they're
Where
all
they
like,
take
all
over?
four of them were like,
Wow.
yo, cousin, what's up? Take care of the farm while we're out.
Right.
We're moving to New York City. We're gonna be
down
urban
there.
cowboys.
Yeah.
We're gonna be male prostitutes.
Wow.
We're gonna hang with Dustin Hoffman.
Good luck on your low pay.
Then they came back.
Then they came back. In the meantime, they had a Saturday morning cartoon that still had
Yep.
Bo and Luke,
There it is.
Wow.
but not the voices, just the
Different
character
voices.
names.
There you go.
Fascinating. I find this fascinating and arrogant that the show and the
Yeah.
producers were like, we don't need you fuckers.
Right. And then
Whatever happened with like Chips? Did they ever get replaced?
Yeah, they replaced
I would think so, yeah.
the blonde guy.
Punch and John.
I don't know this especially
Yeah.
well, but
Yeah.
because I didn't like Chips as much, but there was Ponch and John.
I love that show.
and,
too.
And then I think there was like they did a transition too, where
Yeah.
like John's cousin came in,
Yeah.
who was like shorter and dumber, like more of a novice.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I think John was gone after a while, and I think the for some reason I thought he was short, and he was the new partner.
But
I'm
Eric-
pretty sure.
And Eric Estrada stayed on.
You
it.
cannot lose Eric Estrada.
Yeah,
Right.
Everybody just loved Ponch.
Right.
Right.
Him in
Fucking
real
man.
life.
Like, you know him?
I know him.
You-
I
No.
recently saw him
Really?
in a movie or a TV show. Fucking guy's amazing actor.
He's really
He didn't get
yeah.
the love he needed.
We love
Yeah.
To
Ponch.
be honest.
But back then I remember it was like that's why she's probably the most famous guy I know. Well, except for like comedians and stuff. But still, it's like I just remember being a kid and we used to play like we were Ponch and John, on our
Absolutely.
bicycles.
Yeah.
You know? We used to be like,
You were John. Right.
you know what? I think everybody wanted to be.
You could be
Ponch.
Ponch too, though.
No,
Yeah, everybody
yeah,
wanted to
no,
be
I
It's
mean,
make believe.
Yeah,
Ponch is the guy. Dude.
Yeah, I know.
You're like, Ponch is getting laid tonight.
I'm the cool
Ponch-
guy, even though I'm 9.
Ponch
yeah.
and Rooster.
Yeah. But it was funny because I thought about that back then. It was like a huge show. I remember when it came out, there were like Chips, and it was like our whole family watched because it's California.
We watched. We
the
watched.
theme song and the
sure.
music, and at that time,
There's some harmony.
yeah. Are we doing it?
We're musicians
By
now.
accident, you just did.
Matt,
By accident.
Matt and Darren sitting around a flaming trash can.
Yeah, so
In the cold,
like-
doing TV songs.
see, yeah, that show is one
Yeah.
of those shows when we moved to California, I thought, oh,
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
I know California.
Right.
Then we get to Bakersfield, and I'm
Yeah.
like, when are we getting to California?
Yeah.
And my dad's like, we're here, buddy.
When are we getting
It's
to
just like
California?
Disappointing.
Yeah, Bakersfield 90217.
Yeah.
is this?
Big disappointment. I'm like, no, this isn't. He goes, yeah.
I did that recently. Like I referenced Chips recently to my
Yeah.
mother-in-law. Was like, I told her we were up on the 210 or the 134 highway.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, she don't know.
How would I
She
know?
never
Yeah.
been here.
Yeah.
I'm like, Chips. She's like, yeah. I go, yeah, that highway, those highways.
Those highways.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, okay.
See, we lived.
And my wife's 12 years younger than me. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
So we lived in. So I grew up in Fresno, but we would come down to L.A. My aunt and uncle lived in Norwalk.
Yeah.
At the time, and so I had this picture. I knew like the freeway because this is the big city, especially when you're from Fresno back then.
course.
For
Like you
sure.
come, it was like because up there there's only like the freeway was only have like 2 lanes, like the slow lane and the fast lane. Right?
Yeah.
That's it.
Lucky you. In Maryland was just this lane going
Really?
this way
Oh,
and this lane
gee,
going
that
this
was
way.
scary.
Hey, welcome to your death.
Ugh, head on-
This was how
yeah.
you'll die. Going to the post
Wow.
office.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
better hope that guy's not drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So we come down here. I remember just thinking, I remember being in the back seat, going, "Oh my gosh, my dad's like, how does he do this?" There's like 4 lanes, 5 lanes, all the
Yeah.
the brake lights are just.
I'm
like,
still like, how do I
it's
do
still,
this?
I know it's
Yeah.
crazy, right?
Aaron, can we
Yeah.
start dialing up Brennan? Brennan
It's all
Tasseff
about
is here.
dildos.
What up, boys?
Hello.
For those that don't know, probably including Darren Carter, we have a segment on this podcast that we stole from our old podcast, The Power of How. It's called Was I a Dick?
Oh,
And
I like this segment. I've heard
what
it.
happens is Brennan will recap a scenario in which he may or may not have been a dick. He's not sure. And then we vote and say whether he was a dick or not.
Yeah.
Brian Irwin's not here. He would definitely say you were a dick. No
Yeah,
matter,
I was
Brian-
gonna say,
no matter
Brian's
what.
Not, Darren, I think
Yeah.
you're going to be more on my side. Brian always says I'm a dick.
Well, Darren here is probably the most nicest person I know. You would have to come in second.
And that, but
Are you
that,
kidding? It's Darren Carter, the party starter,
I
baby.
know, right? But I'm definitely always
Yeah.
a dick.
but that could go either way, you know.
Right.
Like he might be nice to
That's
you,
true.
or he might be a nice guy in general and say, "No, you were a dick." So this is high stakes today, Brennan.
It is.
All right.
Yeah.
Digging that shirt, by the way, Matt. Thanks for the plug.
Check out Brennan's
So-
podcast, Ex Drinking Buddy, when you get a chance.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good shirt too.
Living in New York, we have bodegas. It's
Yeah.
very simple. It's a convenience store. Everyone's got them. Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Difference is, in a lot of major cities, you have like a Wawa or a Shell or a Buc-ee's, so everything's priced.
Yeah.
Bodegas, it's the Wild West. Kinda, I'll get you tomorrow. Hey, maybe this is $1 today. Maybe it's $2 tomorrow. So it's a little crazy.
That's awesome.
Every night I get off of work, I have the same route. I go by the same bodega and I go in and I get the same energy drink every night. Because after work at the restaurant, I go to the comedy clubs to either do sets or hang or whatever. So I always get a little energy drink, same price every time.
Yeah.
Now I understand as someone who works in a restaurant as a server in the service industry, I cannot stand when people are like, oh, well, last time I came here, this was like cheaper. Or didn't you have this on the menu last time? It's like, no, bro, I've been here for 3 years. We never had a molten chocolate cake. Sorry, man. Like,
You're thinking of
wrong
Outback Steakhouse.
so yeah, so I get when the customer tries to tell the person that's working there, I understand how frustrating that can be. This is my was I a dick? I go in, grab the same energy drink I always grab, put it on the counter. Different person behind the counter. That's
Okay.
weird.
Mm-hmm.
Normally the energy drink is $3. He goes $5.50.
Oh,
and I was like,
that's a big jump.
That's all.
and it's not like 50 cents. It was like an extra $2. And I was like, no, man, I did it just instinctually. No, man, I come here all the time. It's $3. He goes, no, it's $5.50. And then I turn and they have the same energy drinks on a display at the front that says $2.99. And I said, but that's the energy drink. He goes, no, you pulled it from the fridge. That's a different one. So I walk over, grab the energy drink. I don't say anything. I don't do anything. I just kind of slam it down on the counter next to the other energy drink. So he sees they're exact same. And I go, $3, right? And he was like, yeah, sure, man. And I gave him the $3 and I walked out. As soon as I walked out, I pulled out my phone and I go, I think I kind of was a dick there. I got to write this down to tell Matt and the guys.
Before we say whether you were a dick or not, and it's going to show you that I'm biased. Last time I was in New York, I went up to the register with something, and the guy saw, but my wife was holding up the line. She goes, "Oh, I'm going to go get another drink," right? But there's a line, and I'm like, "Hey, honey, fuck, she's all the way across the bodega," and the guy sees I have a 10, and I go, "How much is all this?" And he goes, 10. And I'm just like,
Sure it is.
you got me, asshole. You got me. I just gave him the 10 because, like, there's no prices on anything.
Right.
It's like,
That's crazy.
you know, it's just, you're, like you said, the Wild West. They're just like, you're at their mercy. Of course, you can go to another bodega if you want to, but you don't want to. And yeah.
And I'm there enough to where I felt confident in being like, no, I'm here like at least out of a month. I work, at the restaurant 4 days a week. So that's 16. I'm there at least 10 days a month. So it's like I've bought this enough to feel confident and like, nah, man, it's I know what the price is.
You've already spent. You're already paying a marked up price. $3 is already insane.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure about math, but that's close to 100% markup, isn't it, or a 200% markup? I mean, it's almost
the energy
double.
drinks I get, you can buy on Amazon in like a 24 pack for like $23.
I was gonna say the guy's like, yeah, I bought 24 of these at Costco for like $12.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know what I'm gonna say? That guy's a dick. That guy's a total dick. There's no way refrigeration costs $2.50.
Right.
The refrigerator's already on. The electricity is already pumping through the building. This guy's a dick. But what are you going to do? You're going to go back there next time you get off work?
Yeah. I went back. I've been back there 4 times since we recorded last.
Do you guys act like the incident didn't even happen? You're just cool with each other?
No, so this is the thing, is the last time, now in the time since then, it's been the regular guy.
It's the other guy.
And I think it's the owner, and that was his son, like covering for him that night because it was it was like a kid.
Oh, the son, there's always an entitled son at the bodega.
Yeah, the son.
They're like, I can't believe I have to work for my money today.
Right.
This paradise is all going to be mine one day.
His dad takes 12 hours off a week.
Right.
To sleep for one night. And the kids are always like, I can't believe I'm burdened with sitting behind this fucking counter.
Well, I have to.
Yeah, I'm going to make it worth my
I made sure
while.
not to say anything because I was like, oh, maybe I should. And I was like, I'm definitely not that guy. I'm not going to say anything about anything to anybody. I'm not going to be like, hey, the younger kid that works here, he was like trying to rip me out. Like, I was just like, nah, just charge it to the game.
Pretty sure
he's
trying to pocket that $2, bro.
Because then, then the dad would be offended.
We used to do that at McDonald's. When I was working at McDonald's back when, God, 20 years ago, everything was on the thing. Like, it wasn't really digital.
Right.
So if you worked there long enough, you knew a number one cost $5.36. So you'd be like $5.36. And if someone handed you cash, you just pop that register open, do the math in your head, and hand it back to them, and then call back. Hey, I need a number one, guys.
Pocket, nice.
I love the one of my favorite bodegas of all time is I'm not even going to name it because I don't want to call them out, but I love the sandwiches there. Practically the reason I moved back to that neighborhood. After weed became legal in New York, they just, after 11 p.m., just would put, not even like, they would just put weed in a glass container like this tall by the register. Like, we sell weed now, like after 11 p.m.
And you're like, that's
it was
not
insane.
legit.
And it wasn't legit. And you knew the weed was questionable. As is most weed in New York, but it was like, but it was cool. It was like, all right, I'm living in, there's no laws here in New York
I was
City.
gonna say there's so much crime going on in a good city like New York that the police are like, I ain't even fucking with
They
that.
do not want to bust anybody for weed. It's not a felony.
Well, and it's it's very bizarre because of the like Wild West, like we're talking about. There are bodegas, and we all are in this industry. We all know how much it costs, like get a studio or get a space and do all that, like most people do. Like, you'll see bodegas go up with a lot of like LEDs and tech and all sorts of stuff. And I guess they just think like, oh, we just sell weed. Like, we can sell weed or we can sell cigarettes
or whatever.
I've seen 3 or 4 on my walk to work from Union Square to my restaurant.
Yeah.
They pop up and you're like, these are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars worth of investment.
Yeah.
They're gone within 6 months because they're not selling the cigarettes with the proper stamps on them or something like that.
The craziest thing happened after weed got legal in New York City. Every other store on every block is now a dispensary.
Sold weed.
And there's like a couple different types. There's the legal ones, which nobody shops at because
taxes.
There's too many people
shit.
working there, and they treat you like you're trying to buy a car.
Right.
There's like 3 people swarming you and trying to get you to get a membership.
Yeah.
The illegal ones kind of suck sometimes because they usually just have like 3 people stoned hanging out on the couch. And they're just it's shady. Like, it really feels like there's always one dick. There's always 3 guys stoned and one like dickhead. Like, I remember one time I was like, no, I don't want that. I want that. I'm used to getting this. And then the guy just starts talking to the other employee like, we need to start telling people it's a better deal to get this one and that one because this guy clearly, it's like, it's so unprofessional.
Oh, dude.
And then you have the weed stores that don't even sell weed. They just sell they have like weed posters, Alvin and the Chipmunks smoking a blunt. They got and they just have like crazy snacks, like Chinese Fritos or whatever.
Right. And
they have like jalapeno Oreos and stuff. And God forbid if you go in there, it says smoke shop everywhere. If you go in there and ask for a pack of cigarettes, you might as well be Satan, man. They're like, cigarettes?
Tobacco.
Cigarettes? Get out of here.
No.
I went into one and it looked like a weed store.
Yeah.
They advertised it as a weed store. And then I was looking around and I go, do you guys just have flour? And he's like, no. And then I started reading. I go, is this just CBD? No THC? And he goes, yeah. And I go, are you fucking kidding me?
I think that's the most unholy thing in the world to smoke CBD.
Yeah.
Like, what? Did they have flour CBD?
No.
Oh, okay.
They had, but they did have that fake ass salvia, which is like
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever done that stuff. My friend did once.
Oh, nobody likes that.
No, my friend did it, and he said, yeah, dude, he goes, I smoked it, I was taking a shit, and I woke up 3 hours later. He goes, I don't even know what happened. And I'm just like, off the list.
Go check the toilet. That's the first thing you got to check.
That stuff sounds dangerous as hell. I'll just get weed, thank you.
All right, we got to get to Wendell before he gets mad. What are you giving him?
Oh,
Dick
yeah,
or
that
no
guy
dick?
was a total dick. He was going to pocket the $2. There's no doubt about it. He's a shady cunt. So, yeah.
But you still got to be nice to him. You live in his world.
Yeah.
No,
you do.
yeah,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
agree.
Always
That,
nice.
that guy was wrong. He was a dick. You were the good guy, and I like that you went outside and you go. And I immediately took out my phone. I thought you were gonna say I made a Yelp review, but I'm glad.
1 star.
No.
If you made the Yelp review, then you would be a dick. But you didn't.
Yeah, you whipped out your phone to make a note for this podcast, so that was a good thing.
Yeah, this
One
is our
move.
Yelp review. This is
Solid
where I
move.
figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
We didn't name names. We gave no star ratings.
Right.
And you continue to be a customer there. You're a good guy. Brennan, always great to see you, even if it's on the TV screen. Thanks for doing this, taking the time
Good
to do
seeing you,
this.
dude.
And I'll
Of
talk
course,
to you
great
later,
see
man.
you guys. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, peace. We got to do some. I got to go to New York and do a couple Power How episodes. Aaron, can we get Wendell on the phone? I don't know if this is going to work or not because he's at work.
Oh, we're doing that again?
Yeah.
He's in the locker room?
Yeah. But he's in the break room, I think. He actually said, like, before we were running late, he was like, excuse me, he was like, I'm going to be on the bus.
Oh wow, is he at LAX?
Yeah, so what he does, he's got to park in this, like, parking lot. That's,
Oh, and it drives him over to where he goes
yeah,
to work.
it's, like, practically at Union Station.
That makes sense.
Oh wow.
And I'm exaggerating, of course, but it's pretty far away from the airport.
It's not at the airport. Yeah. Yeah, the employee parking is way far away.
Wow.
Like, you couldn't just run.
So his life is he goes from his house or wherever he lives to like I don't want to give too much information away, but
Yeah, he lives in the sewer in a hole in the ground, like a hobbit.
and
He's
drinks-
actually a mutant ninja turtle.
By night.
He's a middle-aged
Because I know he's
mutant
got
ninja
the
turtle.
neighbors he gets mad at, and I know he drinks the
Yeah.
big drinks
Yeah.
from Starbucks. and-
Yeah.
So,
Okay, yeah, he goes to a coffee place. He's moved on to Coffee Bean.
oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes to work, and then he goes home. We pretty much think that. But Wendell has a secret life we don't know about.
But his life is like
Right. He
There
does.
he is.
There he is.
He does have a secret life.
Wendell, what's up? The beard just keeps
Secret
looking
life?
better
Wow,
and better.
look
Yeah.
at this
Wow, I never
fucking
saw this
beard,
look.
dude.
wow.
You're starting to look like a side
That's-
character in like a Schwarzenegger movie or something.
And you're looking thin from that angle.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
This should be your
Oh,
dating profile
hey.
picture.
Hey, keep whispering those sweet nothings into my ears. I like that. No, the beard is just that's just me being lazy.
No, you know who you look
Unfortunately.
like? You look like the guy who like Schwarzenegger calls and goes like, "Hey, we're going back to Vietnam. We're gonna pull one of our buddies out,
Right.
a
And you,
POW or
but
something."
you're reluctant. And you're
Yeah.
like, all right, one last
I'm
time.
too old for this shit.
He's like, Johnny's
I'm
still
too
over
old for
there.
this shit.
Dude, you look like a badass right now. You look like
I
a
know.
badass and he's like, "Hey boys, just checking in. How's the podcast going?" You know?
Eric the Muscle Wendell.
Your mom's going to be home in a half hour.
You look like
Get to the
security.
chopper.
Yeah.
Well,
See, now, if
thank
this
you.
guy
I
was
appreciate
pissed
all
off
these
with the
compliments.
crowbar, I'd be scared. I'm like, ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
listen.
You know?
I've never not been scared of Wendell.
That's true.
That's true. But this is even another level of fear. This is like
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is like a Duck Dynasty badass
Right,
camo
yeah.
guy.
Yeah, I
don't
do
know.
almost feel like Wendell would be that guy that if he did murder somebody and they were like, "We're gonna give you 30 years," you'd just be like, "Yeah, sounds good."
Yeah, rack it up. Rack 'em.
We doing San Quentin then? Let's go.
That would be so cool to call in to the payphone.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
He calls it from a payphone.
Or-
Collect call from San Quentin Prison.
Correctional facility.
Your celly's over here making grilled cheese on the radiator or whatever.
Beep. It's like being recorded on their end.
Yeah.
They're doing a
Making
prison
some prison
podcast.
wine in the
too.
toilets.
Yeah. Where are you? Where exactly are you? What room are you in? The break room?
No, I don't have the same room I had last time.
Yeah.
But this is the lighting. I'm sure sucks.
You
in
look like
here.
you're
No,
calling from
It's
a.
a very terrible light. Only
pretty
one
good.
bulb is working.
Dude,
it's
You look
awful.
like you're
This
calling.
is your lighting.
Yeah.
We just spent 5 minutes talking about how great you look.
Yeah. Now that you said that, he could be at a mental institution. I have no idea. I just see white
There's no
walls.
sunglasses in a mental
just-
institution,
You see
unfortunately.
someone throwing shit on the walls all of a sudden, like, oh, you got locked up, huh? 72-hour hold.
Actually, yeah, you're right. It does look very sanitary.
Yeah.
You should, yeah, dude. If I was you, this is where I would do all my date calls.
Yeah. You up?
Yeah.
You up?
No, I had to come in early to make this happen. Like, because normally I'm on the bus whenever you guys wanted to call me or whatever. So I had to come in a little bit early. This is a changing room. There's a few changing rooms in our locker room. This is just one of them.
We may or may
They're all
not
shitty.
see a penis in the background.
Hey, look at this.
Make sure you're watching us on
Hopefully not.
YouTube, folks.
Yeah.
Look at this hog.
Parental discretion advised.
What movie are you going to review this week?
I had a chance to watch The Instigators on Apple
cool.
TV Plus with Matt Damon
I've
and
been
Casey
meaning
Affleck.
I've been meaning to watch that. It's crazy how many stars Apple TV has,
Yeah.
but they don't really advertise that much. Like I'm watching a show
Yeah.
with Vince Vaughn right now called Bad Monkey.
That looks good.
It's pretty good. It could be better, but it's pretty effing good.
That's on my list to review. I've watched the first 3 episodes of that. I thought about reviewing that this week, but I guess now that you've talked about it, I don't have to review it.
Yeah, I couldn't give it a review. I've only watched one and a half episodes, so it's still.
But it sucks you in, though. It sucks you in. Like, it's hour-long episodes. Vince Vaughn's great because it's Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn is one of the.
It's really interesting so far. It's very interesting once you get through the 3rd episode.
Vince Vaughn is one of the funniest comedic actors of all time. We actually know someone on our podcast right now who did a scene with Vince Vaughn. Did you not?
The movie is called Be Cool, the sequel to Get Shorty.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Featuring
Oh,
Darren
nice.
Carter, the party starter.
And John Travolta.
You played a used car salesman, right? Or just a car salesman?
I was a car rental guy in that one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's
right.
Excellent.
That's all these acting classes. That's what you're going to be, pretty much. You know, here's your pizza.
It's true, dude. Like we know all these guys with acting careers. They have like 30 seconds a pop. You
Dude,
know?
I was just, for some reason I woke up in the middle of the night because I didn't want to oversleep for your show. I don't know. I was like, I want to get up early. I want to exercise. I want to blah blah blah. And I thought about my old acting class. I thought, well, I don't know what those guys are up to. There's like 2 of them that I still know their names.
Yeah.
And I looked them up and I'm like, I wouldn't want that life. Like they have. I hate to say it, but they have like no followers. They have nothing going on. They're just waiting for these auditions.
Right.
And they're mad.
They're just
on their
actors,
like,
right?
Yeah, they're just actors.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like, you know, one guy was like, I've been in the business for 40 years, and I'm like, oh god.
Oh, are they complaining like comedians?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Worse.
Yeah.
Comedians
But
got the
worse.
memo 10 years ago. We're like, all right,
Yeah.
like stop complaining and just start putting out 8 billion videos.
Put out
Yeah.
something. Put something
Right.
out. Yeah. Because
Right.
I was like, oh gosh.
Wendell, you're reviewing The Instigators. What's up with that? What's up with that?
Yeah. I mean, you got a little bonus review there of Bad Monkey. I really enjoy it so
Bonus
far. But
review.
I'll save an official review for later. But yeah, The Instigators, I had really high hopes for that because you got Matt Damon, Casey Affleck, Ron Perlman, Toby Jones. It's directed by Doug Liman.
Wow.
So I'm expecting to be blown away.
For those that don't
right?
know, speaking
But-
of Vince Vaughn, Doug Liman directed Swingers,
All right.
Mr.
right.
and Mrs. Smith, amongst others.
Okay.
That's right. Legendary director.
The first Born Identity movie.
Oh, there
He
we
directed.
go.
He did
Correct.
the new Roadhouse.
The
And
new
Okay,
Roadhouse.
Okay.
No Swayze, no Wazy. Sorry, Doug.
Oh no!
Boom.
He directed that new Roadhouse. Oh,
it's the only reason I watched it.
come on, man!
And then
How the mighty have fallen.
Oh,
Why
man.
would he
Ouch.
attach himself to that piece
Hey.
of shit?
Hey,
Whoa,
we're
whoa,
still trying
whoa.
to work in this town, man. The fuck?
Settle down.
I get it.
Settle down.
I mean, a paycheck's a paycheck, but fuck, man. There's no need to remake that.
Hey,
I just
hey.
saw a trailer for a new Crow movie that they remade. Why would you
Oh,
remake The
yeah.
Crow? That's the only great movie Brandon Lee ever did. That was
Well,
great.
there's a reason for that.
I was gonna say didn't because he's dead.
Okay. Well, no, I mean I know where you're going with that, but he did some other shittier movies before this.
Yeah,
and
he
they
didn't have a
sucked.
chance to do another
But he-
movie. Let's
No,
just leave it at
I knew
that.
that's where you're going with it. But
Going
no, he
with
was
it? That's
what
not
was
a
he,
hot take.
Showdown in Little Tokyo
It's
or something.
All right,
It
all
was
right.
terrible.
Instigators. What's up with that movie? What's
Anyway,
up with that?
Yeah, sorry.
What's
That's
up
my new
with that?
catchphrase.
that's a
Just-
good one. It's good.
it's just like what we talked about a few times now. It's kind of like Netflix, where you were almost there. You almost had a good movie, but it was just really slow. It just kind of trudges along. It's just okay, and I'm thinking, like, I love heist movies. Like, that's my most favorite genre, and I'm thinking, I'm waiting for this crazy elaborate heist and this crazy getaway chase and some spins, some twists or something, and it just doesn't happen.
You just want Matt Damon to jump through a plate glass window. That's all you want out of a movie or a TV show.
I mean, if that's
and he plays like a doofus in this movie. He's not anything like his other characters. He's like this fucking like laid off, like, I don't know, like repairman or something like that. Like he's never robbed anything. So he doesn't have anything to add to that in this movie, and his character anyway. So it was just very disappointing. Like, I expected a lot more.
Now I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
I wanted to watch it. I'm still going to watch it.
I guess if you're bored, maybe get a 6-pack or smoke a blunt or something, but it's just not that great.
I said it once, I'll say it again, or get a 6-pack and a joint and watch anything.
There you go.
That pretty much does the trick.
Solid statement.
I can't imagine drinking a 6-pack and smoking a whole joint at this age, but whatever. But if that's how I got to watch it, that's how I got to watch it.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. And then the next day I'll be hungover and watch Bad Monkey. Because I ain't recovering from that shit.
Yeah.
I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. You think I should go in with a 6-pack in my stomach? Like, just go in all hungover for a checkup?
He's like, here, let's start here. So you got to stop being an alcoholic.
Oh, when do I have to start that?
Dude, I knew a guy that was training for a wrestling competition at 40 years old.
Okay.
And then he had to drop weight, and I saw him. He was trying to eat, and he kept showing up to this boxing gym I used to go to, and I go, and he was eating McDonald's, and then one day I go, I thought you were trying. He goes, I was hungry though. I was hungry. And then I saw him smoke a cigarette. I go, dude, you got this competition. And oh, yeah, because I got in his car. That's what it was. I got in his car. He had a pack of cigarettes. I go, you don't even smoke. And he goes, here's what he said. He goes, yeah, but I found them and they're free. Just because
I found this free cyanide.
Yeah,
I gotta
he
keep
found
it.
free pack of cigarettes, so he felt like he had to smoke them because they were
What's
free.
wrong with this guy?
I know something's wrong, right? And so when you said this, what if you went to the doctor? I just pictured like it was free. They gave me these 6
First of all,
beers.
who's wrestling at 40? Like, who's an amateur wrestler?
For
like,
sure.
Yeah,
is
I
this
don't
like
know.
professional style wrestling
this
or
guy
like
was a-
high school style
I
wrestling?
think it was high school. I think it was all ages tournament, like
pinning people.
Yes, yes. His goal.
Pinning other 40-year-olds.
Yeah, his goal was. He told me that he wanted to wrestle and then win. And then leave his shoes on the mat and retire, but because I guess he was a high school wrestler.
You need to stop hanging out with this guy.
I kind of did.
I was
so,
going to
yeah.
say, the next time you meet him, like, dude, what are these needles? Well, the guy was selling heroin, and
It was. He gave me some free.
yeah, the first
leftovers.
one's free, and then I'm addicted, so.
I mean, the
here we
needles
are.
look dirty, but they were free.
Yeah.
We're free.
I was like,
That's right.
yeah.
That's why our buddy Randy, one of the first times I ever hung out with Randy 30 years ago, we went to the liquor store to get some water before we went skating.
Yeah.
And he just buys this little mini Jack Daniels at the counter. I'm like, why the fuck did you buy that? And he goes, it was $1.50. I had to buy
That's
it.
a good deal. That's too fair.
All right.
All right, that's fair.
Wendell, thanks for the
Can't
review,
pass up
buddy.
a bargain like that.
Yeah, no, you can't. Thanks for the review. And Aaron, I think that's our time, isn't it?
Yeah.
58.
That's definitely my time. I got to get to work. People been texting me this whole fucking time. I got to see what the
Good
fuck
to
they
see you,
need.
buddy. Good to see you,
I'm supposed to
man.
be working right now.
That's my time.
Gotta go.
Hey, good to see you too. The party starter.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Get some mugs without handles.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Full Charge.
Peace
Power.
out, you guys.
Peace out.
See ya.
Peace out.
Patreon.com/The Full Charge. Give us some money. $1, $2, $5, $10, $700. Hook us up if you like the show. And Darren, you want to plug anything?
Dude, I am so glad you guys are doing this podcast again. I'm glad you're back on the West Coast. I'm
Hell
glad
yeah.
it's happening.
Right?
Not only have I been a guest on previous episodes, but I'm a fan. I love you guys' podcast. You guys have such great chemistry.
You're the
Can't
man.
tell you how many times I've been on long walks listening to you, or during COVID, even when the podcast episodes were getting shorter and shorter. But I'm glad you guys are back and at it, man, and it's just an honor to be here. And
Thank you.
you guys, if you want to follow me, check me out on Instagram. All my links are there. Darren Carter on Instagram, Darren Carter, Carter. That's it. So,
Are you still doing your podcast?
I am. It's called Pocket Party, and I need to get inspired like Matt's inspired and do it again, because my episodes have been less frequent, and then
It's difficult to just keep putting them out
Yeah.
once a week, but
I love you guys' chemistry and the stuff you guys talk about, and it's I mean, you guys make it look easy, and
Thank
when
you.
when an episode goes great, isn't it a great feeling?
Oh, for
it's
sure.
fantastic.
It
It's the
does.
closest we
Yeah.
get to improv. I don't like improv acting, but I like
Right.
I like riffing with people. It's
Same.
fun. These are for those that don't know, and this is the whole reason podcasts has started with comedians. This is what it's like being in a green room
Yes.
of a comedy club.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of cool.
I used to always say if you could put that on TV or whatever,
Yeah.
just a comedy circle
Yeah.
outside of the show.
Yeah, man.
You would hate
No,
your favorite comic. No, I'm
Yeah,
just kidding.
yeah. So it'll always be funny, dude. Got a bunch of crazy people together.
That's right.
Thanks for listening,
Yeah.
and we're out of here.